Okay, so now that we know all about kernels, let's go back to the sklearn documentation and see how kernels are supported in the actual code. See if there's different kernels that we could give a try and see how those affect the decision boundary that our SVM gives us. So, okay, I'm back at the page where we were a few videos ago. Now I'm looking at some of these points a little bit more carefully, and one of the things that I notice is that there are different kernel functions that can be specified for the decision function. So there's common kernels that I can use straight out of the box, great. And there's also the option for custom kernels if I want to get really fancy. We'll be just using the common kernels that you can use out of the box, but that might be a really interesting thing to play around with, is to write your own kernel. So there are several different SVMs within scikit-learn that you could use. The one that we're using is SVC, the Support Vector Classifier. Okay, and that takes me to another documentation page of the Support Vector Classifier. And I have this box at the top. This might be a little bit reminding you of what we were seeing in the naive Bayes documentation earlier. So we have this whole complicated thing here and tells me how I can create my SVC. And I notice that there's all sorts of arguments, all sorts of parameters that I can pass when I'm creating it. One of these happens to be the kernel. Now let me take you back to the code that we wrote. You might recognize this from our last quiz. And one of the lines of code that I gave you that I said we would explain later was this line right here, where I'm creating the classifier. So this line of code would work if these parentheses were just empty inside, but they're not. What I've done is I've specified a kernel. So the first example where we had that straight line decision boundary, this is using a linear kernel. Makes sense? So now I have a quiz for you. This is a little bit of a tough quiz because I haven't shown you exactly how to answer this question yet, but I've given you a big hint. The answer is on this page right here of the documentation. And the question for you is, which of the following are SVC kernels that we can use? Your options are linear, poly, RBF, sigmoid, or all of these options plus more. So which of these kernels are available to you when you're using the sklearn SVC?